Hello and welcome to this Enlisted guide video. Today's topic is going to be about the equipment that our soldiers can take into battle. I won't be covering anything to do with primary or secondary weapon slots. Hopefully, today's video will provide you with the information needed to make the crucial decisions to bring the best equipment for you and your playstyle. Without further yapping, let's get into it. Let's get into the first soldier equipment that actually isn't really equipment. It just isn't a primary or secondary weapon. Here is Enlisted's tertiary weapon slot, pistols. Pistols are great, but expensive add-ons for your soldier that can save your life, but also are not powerful enough to really use them outside of emergencies. If you have the cash, here on screen are the best pistols to equip to your soldiers for each nation. Swapping to pistols is incredibly fast, much faster than reloading any weapon. The 1-point perk in the weapon tree makes this even faster. Moving on to actually technically a fourth weapon, but next is melee. There are multiple different melee tools we can choose from. Firstly is the default knife each soldier comes equipped with. This item is basically filler and is only really there if you completely run out of ammo and have no soldiers to swap to. The knife has incredibly short range and does 10 damage, enough to kill soldiers without vitality. At least it swings fast. You should probably swap out the knife for another melee coming right up. And the melee you should probably equip on everybody is the axe. This is a fantastic melee option that does enough damage to kill everyone in a single hit. The axe also grants you access to the sprinting charge mechanic. This is the fastest way to travel in Enlisted as a soldier and consumes a heck of a lot of stamina. Not only do you run faster while melee charging, you're slowed down less by being hit by damage from either gunshots or non-lethal explosions. It's also worth noting that if you have a bayonet attached to your weapon, you can melee charge with that as well. As far as I'm aware, melee charging with bayonets and axes is the same speed. A melee option for perhaps the engineers in your squad is the shovel. Engineers come with this by default and it can be used as a weapon, although its main purpose is obviously for digging. You can dig holes to build rallies inside, dig a trench to use for cover, or perhaps to make it difficult for vehicles to access certain areas. Shovels are great tools, but I personally don't find myself overusing them. The final melee weapon you can equip on your soldiers is actually a sword. Equipping a sword gives you the fastest sprint speed possible based on the held item. All swords are created equally in terms of speed, although the katana actually has a 0.2 meter range advantage over the other swords. You can only currently get swords through in-game events. However, Japan soldiers can actually buy and equip the Shin Gunto Type 95 for 1000 silver. This is a decent advantage to the Japan faction, especially if you want to go fast and be an aggressive player. The next slot soldiers can equip is their backpack. Backpack is an unlock per soldier class based on squad upgrades, as you can see here. Taking this option, which you should always do by the way, lets you choose between the following: the backpack, the grenade pouch, and the ammo pouch. These come in the small and large varieties, and I suggest saving off on getting the small ones and buying the large ones. First is the backpack. Equipping a backpack allows you to carry more medkits or alternatively tools for repairing vehicles. Pretty simple and an okay upgrade, but you should probably choose the grenade or ammo pouch. Taking a large grenade pouch lets you equip 3 grenades. You can take 3 of the same, or a variety if you please. Lastly is the ammo pouch. The small ammo pouch gives you an extra magazine for your primary weapon. The large ammo pouch, on the other hand, doubles your ammo in reserve. This is a fantastic upgrade, and I take this on almost every soldier if I can. Next is the explosive slot. My favourite item to put here is a TNT charge. TNT charges are amazing tools for taking out tanks, APCs, or for very patient players, laying traps that can be set off remotely. I always keep TNT charges on my guys, so that I always have a close range anti-tank option. Now, the item I hate, AP mines. Anti-personnel mines have a variety of uses, with the main being area denial. Place these in important doorways, inside objectives, or just randomly in a field or forest. At some point, you may just get a free kill pop up. A super nasty use of AP mines is to place them on an enemy rally when you find one. Place it and run away, and when someone spawns their squad, you'll kill every single member. This can mean 3 kills, or 5, but if you get lucky, it could even be 9 free kills. Not only the kills, but the rally is also destroyed, so you're getting a huge boon out of doing this. Had this happened to you before? One thing you can actually do is to place an AP mine on your own rally. This protects your rally from that exact situation. Someone coming close to mine up your rally will go boom, and also destroys your rally in the process, so you know you need to build a new, safer one. The only time I bring an AP mine myself is on my engineer, so that I can drop it on my own rally as soon as I finish building it. Another variety of mine in the game is actually the AT mine. Anti-tank mines aren't triggered by soldiers running around them, but actually when a tank drives over it. The weak underbelly of a tank is extremely vulnerable to explosions. Lay these along common paths that vehicles take, and you can kill them in the way that they have no real counter to. One cool idea I've seen is building a Czech hedgehog on a road. The tank will see this, and obviously they have to drive around, which is where you'll place your AT mines. People will often see a single defense, and assume that what they see is what they're getting, driving into your AT mine without any concern. Japan actually gets another option here, being the anti-tank lunge mine. This is essentially a melee weapon that explodes on contact with soldiers, or hopefully you are mainly using this to take out tanks. Ramming this into the correct area, hopefully the side of a tank, and hitting the ammo inside is a nice way to take out a tank. Although your soldier is at great risk of dying to their own explosion, which did happen in real life. Those Japanese soldiers were crazy. Moreover, we have the flask slot. Flasks are a great utility item that I would say are worthwhile to equip for only 400 or 500 silver. Flasks are simple. Hold the drinking keybind for about 3 seconds and you'll consume the water. This gives your soldier unlimited stamina for a full 60 seconds. This is huge in allowing you to sprint and jump around without worrying about tiring out and being less effective with your weapon swaying around until you recover. Drinking a flask doesn't eliminate stamina consumption while charging though, but it does slightly increase the amount of time you can charge by about 4 seconds, not taking into account any stamina perks. The main benefit here is how quickly your stamina recharges, allowing you to sprint and charge again much sooner. I'll keep it short about binoculars. Right now, the best use of binoculars is on your tankers to allow you to see better when you pop out the top hatch. Binoculars offer no benefit other than seeing further. Darkflow, if you're seeing this, I'd love if binoculars let us see the distance to a ping, like Mortarmen did. I also think they should be able to ping vehicles from further away than normal. Anyway, moving on to grenades. Taking the penultimate slot in our soldiers' loadout are nades. There are a variety of throwables we can take here to suit different needs. Firstly, the actual fragmentation or frag grenades. These are incredible for taking out infantry in the open or inside a building. These can be cooked, which you should do if you have the time. Frags, explosion packs, and white phosphorus all share a 5-second fuse time. If you can make a frag explode just above the ground, it will be more effective than landing on the ground itself. Although, this is pretty tricky to pull off consistently. Compared to the next throwable explosion packs, frags have a larger radius, so are better suited to clearing out routes of soldiers. One thing to keep note of is that frags do not carry enough mass to smash through windows, so don't blow yourself up. All frags have an effective range to kill soldiers up to 4 meters, and will down soldiers up to 7 meters. Explosion packs are my go-to choice for engineers and anti-tank soldiers, as this allows them to destroy tanks, APCs, and fortifications. These do have the mass to destroy windows they are thrown through, and can be viable for clearing interiors, just not as reliable as frag grenades can do. For infantry damage, explosion packs have a powerful initial blast, but do not cause fragmentation, so its damage past 2.5 meters rapidly decreases. Furthermore, we have Molotov cocktails. Molotovs have been heavily nerfed in the past, and are not incredibly effective. Molotovs do not have a fuse and explode the second they land against any surface or wall. They will leave a pool of fire for 30 seconds in a 4-meter radius. These are best used to deny areas such as entryways to buildings, or perhaps around a destruction bomb objective to stop people planting or defusing. Additionally, Molotovs can be used against tanks. If you're able to land a bottle on the engine deck of a tank, it will slowly burn the engine and eventually, if left to burn, will kill the crew inside. This is pretty slow though. Very similar to frags are impact grenades. Impacts don't have any fuse like Molotovs and explode in the same way as those fiery bottles. Impacts have basically half the range of frags, but the trade-off is that you can throw these straight at people to blow them up immediately. If you have to reload or are in some emergency and will probably die, throwing out an impact grenade could be viable. Otherwise, you're probably much better just shooting the soldier you're looking at. Maybe if you found a bunch of people huddling together, a quick impact could take them all out. But they have to be close because the radius is pretty pitiful. White phosphorus are sadly just an even worse Molotov at this point. They deal the same damage, in the same radius. The only real benefit is that the smoke is hard to see, so people may walk into them. A niche use for white phosphorus is that it can actually be used against vehicles. Throwing this grenade onto a vehicle's engine does have the chance of damaging it with fire, and potentially leaving the engine inoperable. Open-top vehicles, such as tanks with turrets that are not fully enclosed at the roof, are weak to WP grenades. The gas can quickly kill the crew inside if they aren't able to move away in time. However, I still wouldn't recommend phosphorus or Molotovs for dealing with vehicles. It's just a mildly effective option. Finally, are smoke grenades. Smoke grenades are pretty sad in Enlisted. The smoke cover offered by them is pretty poor in terms of size, and I often feel like it's just being blown away from where I want it by just the wind. I've tried to make use of smokes myself, but found they are only really useful to throw into a window to try and deny people inside a building from seeing outwards. Our final equipment slot lets us choose between equipping medkits and toolkits. The amount of these you can carry is determined by the equipped backpack. Although again, I still recommend ammo pouches unless you are using something like a bolt action. Let's start with tools. Tools allow you to repair damaged modules on vehicles. If you have these equipped and you see a friendly vehicle has taken some damage, such as losing its tracks or gun or engine, you can repair them and get a boatload of XP for doing so. You'll mostly find this consumable equipped to tankers or APC drivers by default, but you can bring them on any soldier. Lastly is medkits. Medkits allow you to heal yourself or others. By default, medkits heal for 3 health out of 10 that default soldiers have. Healing perks allow you to use medkits faster, as well as double or triple their effect to 6 or 9. However, having a medkit equipped actually means your soldier has a base 10% chance to go down no matter what, instead of just immediately unaliving. If you revive yourself or heal, your medkit is consumed. A soldier with no medkit cannot go into the down state and will always unalive. Healing other players will give you 75 score at the cost of your medkit, of course. Medic soldiers have an alternative resource they use for healing allies instead of their medkits. And that's all of the soldier equipment in Enlisted covered. On screen you can see a few examples of my personal equipment loadouts. Have any tips for equipment that I missed? Drop a comment for others to see and share the knowledge. Thank you so much for watching. As always, the links to all my socials are in the description. Hope you have a nice day, and see you next time.